Hello and welcome to the Holly Meredith Show. I want to start my show off today by screaming at the top of my lungs, Peter Kasich, Peter Kasich, Peter Kasich! If you don't know who that is, you should. He is the third American to be beheaded by the insane Muslims. And they are insane Muslims. Can we stop pretending once and for all that anybody with half a brain wants these people in their country? By the way, let me throw out there Temple Mount, Temple Mount, Temple Mount, because on the internet you have half the Muslim population telling people, don't you dare say Temple Mount. It's in Jerusalem, by the way. Well, I'm saying it. Temple Mount, Temple Mount, Temple Mount! What's going to happen? A camel going to sit on me or something? I sincerely doubt that. Back to Peter Kasich, an American who lost his head, really, and wasn't starring in Alice in Wonderland. Lost his head. Once upon a time in the world as we know it, if even one American had lost their head, the country in which this took place would be burning still. Yes, it would be a big hole in the ground, which is what it should be. That country should be simmering. You should see ash heaps where there were people. That's all that there should be left. But not with the president we have. I'm sure the president that we have is all in favor now. 1, 2, 3. Everyone knows the man was captive. Everyone knows they threatened to behead him. And everyone knows that the president of the United States could have done something about it. And everyone knows that this president of the United States does nothing about anything other than robbing you. So I want you to keep Peter Kasich and his family in mind. He no longer has to worry about anything. He's now very dead, and in a very brutal way has he killed himself, been dead. You now have to go to somebody else that I want you to think about. Jonathan Gruber. Come up with that name, Google his name if you don't believe me, because you will hear nothing whatsoever about Jonathan Gruber. Oh, by the way, a member of the tribe. You will hear nothing at all about Jonathan Gruber, who is responsible for Obamacare and all the lies that are in it. Yes, the darling Mr. Gruber has been caught on at least 6 tapes when he was giving speeches to other people around the country about how incredibly stupid the American population is. That it was really a very easy thing for him to do, to write the law in such a way that Americans had no idea that they were being taxed on their benefits, because you are. Your health benefits are being taxed. Yes, they are. Just like Social Security is taxed. Yes, it is, even though it was a tax to begin with. Your health benefits are now going to be taxed. The people who voted for this, only Democrats, no Republicans voted for it, not one. But the people who did vote for it knew exactly what was in the bill, although they'll tell you that they didn't read it. They don't have to read it. Every congressman on his desk every day prior to a vote has a synopsis of whatever is contained in the bill, produced by his staff, with little bullet points going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, telling them exactly what is in that bill they're going to vote on. They all knew. That's why they all wanted to be exempted from it. And they are. And they are. But you're not. You're going to be dying off by the time you're 76 because you will not be able to get any more care. You'll get a pill to make you feel better, but you won't get any help. There'll be no health care for you. There'll be no extension of your life, except for the people that are passing this law who are not under it, and they're going to live forever. Because you're going to be paying for that health care for them. So let's go back to 2 Americans today on opposite sides of the spectrum. And then I want to throw in another one, who is the most significant, most important one of all. His name is Rob O'Neill. He is a SEAL. He is a highly decorated SEAL. He is someone that Americans should be proud of all over the country. Do you even know his name? Of course you don't. Because you're controlled by the federal government media, never wants you to think about him, talk about him, hear about him. Because he is the absolute synopsis of a hero. What do we have as heroes in our country today? Well, we have Negro thugs who play NFL football. We have the Kardashians showing off their butt, which is completely made of plastic, but you're looking at it anyway. That's your hero of today. You have Johnny Depp, who was so drunk the other evening at his awards presentation, he could barely stand up straight. Instead of Rob O'Neill, the man who shot Osama bin Laden, and who had a 2-day interview just this past week that was absolutely riveting, was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen in my entire life. Rob O'Neill, American SEAL, 38 years of age. Everything about his life, an open book. You can read about him from the day he was born to the day he's standing in front of the camera a couple of days ago. Rob O'Neill is what the President of the United States is supposed to be. The President of our country is supposed to be every man, any man, not the richest man, not the man who lies the best, not the man who can be bought by everybody else. That's where we have come to. That's what we have sitting in our White House now, stinking it up. But that's where we now are. Rob O'Neill should be the hero of everybody in this country. His name should be something everybody should know. His name should be on t-shirts. Not I saw Kim Kardashian's ass, but Rob O'Neill. That's who should be on your t-shirt. But it won't be, because your media doesn't want you to have a real American white hero. Oh, did I leave that out? Whoa, how could I have done that? Rob O'Neill is a blue-eyed blonde white guy. Mainly because the blue-eyed blonde white guys are what got us this far in civilization. I know you hate hearing that one, but that happens to be the truth. So let's go back to Rob O'Neill, Jonathan Gruber, and Peter Kasich. 3 Americans, all of whom have met different fates in the past couple of days, all of whom are important for various reasons, all of whom signify America in its many ways. And I want you to think about the 3 names as I prepare to go to my break. When I come back, I'm going to give you all the reasons why they're even more important. Peter Kasich, Jonathan Gruber, and Rob O'Neill. This is Holly Meredith, getting ready to go to my break.
Hi, I'm Maria of My Clean Home Services. Been in business for 5 years now. I specialize in residential, and I also do commercial. If you need any references, I can provide that for you upon request. You can give me a call at 954-520-4282 if you have any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Hello and welcome to New York Nails and Skin Salon, located on beautiful Linton Boulevard in downtown Delray Beach. This salon is open 7 days a week. Yes, 7 days. If you need the finest skincare and the finest manicures and pedicures that you can get, you want to call Linda at 561-274-7470. I want to say it to you one more time, 7 days a week. The finest skincare and nail care that you can get. Give her a call. Once again, it's New York Nails, and the number is 561-274-7470. Welcome back to the Holly Meredith Show. Before I went to my last break, I was giving the names of 3 very prominent Americans, and they are all prominent in their own way. I mentioned Peter Kasich, Jonathan Gruber, and Rob O'Neill. Totally different completely. Peter Kasich is the man whose head was just removed from his shoulders by being beheaded, on video by the way, by the crazy Muslims, so that they can show it around the world to show people what happens if you go where they are. Peter Kasich had been a captive for quite some time. Peter Kasich's family had pleaded with the White House to intercede on his behalf. Of course, nothing happened there. Peter Kasich's death should have gotten a response from America of flattening the country entirely. That's what the response would have been had it been up to me. But what you're going to get sometime today, if you're even lucky enough to find out that Peter Kasich is in fact dead, because the media will protect this loser in our White House, you will find out that nothing has happened, that Peter Kassig is dead, and everybody around the world is watching the tape of him being beheaded, and absolutely nothing is going to happen to the people who did it. Nothing. So Peter Kassig is one of our Americans who, through some fault of his own, put himself in a position where this could happen to him. When you go to these countries filled with insane lunatic Muslims, anything can and does happen. Once upon a time in America, you were safe if you were an American out of the country, but not with this loser president we have now. Now let us go to another person completely on the opposite end of the spectrum, a man named Jonathan Gruber, an MIT professor. Mr. Gruber has never in his entire existence held a job. He graduated from college and has been in college ever since. Yes, he's one of those many experts who gives consultations and are policy wonks, and they've never done anything real since they were born. Jonathan Gruber would never be found in a country where he could be beheaded. Jonathan Gruber would never be found in a country where he couldn't have filet mignon for dinner every night. But Jonathan Gruber is the man, one of the men, who put together Obama scam and has been now caught on 5 different videotapes saying it was so easy to do because Americans are so stupid. That would be you. Americans are so stupid that it's very easy to fool them, to flabbergast them, to pull the wool over their eyes, as in Obama mess, your health benefits, the ones you're going to be paying so much for anyway, are going to be taxed. That's coming your way in about 6 weeks because Obama, illegally, like everything else he does, changed the law so that the really bad parts of it wouldn't hit until after this past election. Didn't help him though, did it? But your health benefits are now going to be taxed. So the fact that you get health care is going to be taxed. So you finally understand that Jonathan Gruber, American that he is, born in this country that he is, member of the tribe that runs the country that he is, Jonathan Gruber thinks it's unbelievably funny that you are so stupid that it was so easy for him to fool you. That is another American that you should put a postmark next to. Jonathan Gruber. And now comes the complete apotheosis of the other two. Now comes Rob O'Neill. Rob O'Neill, like the other two, is an American, born in America. Rob O'Neill in the same age group. Gruber is about 39, I believe. Mr. Kassig was 33, I believe, and Rob O'Neill is 38. They're all in the same generalized age group. Rob O'Neill is a highly decorated SEAL, one of the toughest men on earth. Rob O'Neill is the man who shot and killed Osama bin Laden. Rob O'Neill was on a 2-day interview on Fox News with Peter Doocy that I watched from beginning to end that is absolutely, positively riveting. And when it's over, the pride you have in your country is swelling out of your chest. The pride you have in being an American is overwhelming when you think of these men who went on this mission, which was supposed to be a mission they were not coming back from. They were told when they got on the airplane to go over there that they weren't coming back because they were entering a country that was sovereign. They were going into a country, Pakistan, where they had no business being. And if they got caught, they would be shot out of the sky, and the country has a right to do that. So they were told, you're not coming back. You have to get this guy and kill him. This is what we're going to do. So they knew where he was, who was with him, how much time it would take. They were only on the ground 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And at the end of that period of time, Osama bin Laden was dead. They wrapped his body up, grabbed him, put him back outside in a helicopter, took all the information from the second floor where all of his information that he was using to do all the terrorist acts around the world was held, and they were out of the country on their way home. Rob O'Neill is the kind of person that we need as president. Rob O'Neill embodies everything that America stands for in one human being right in front of you. You can't ask for more than Rob O'Neill. It is impossible. Listen to the man speak. Look at him while he's talking. Is he reading it from a teleprompter? Hell no. Can you tell that he means every single word he says? Absolutely. when he tells you that he was proud to be there and never felt better in his whole life, proud to be an American, doing what he was doing for all the people that were killed when the World Trade Towers fell, you believe it because he believes it, because he's telling you the truth. Wouldn't you love to have for a change a president who tells you the truth? Wouldn't you like to have a president who loves America? Wouldn't you like to have a president that's supposed to be the way it is? Not the richest guy, but every guy. You could be Rob O'Neill if you had balls of steel. But you could be Rob O'Neill. I want you to come to the end of my show thinking about these three brave Americans in different ways. Jonathan Gruber, because he has no problem being brave and lying to your face about what he did in order to get over on you. To the people that like what he did with Obamacare, they think he's a great guy. I don't think so. Maybe you do. But I don't like people who lie to me. Peter Kassig was a brave man in many ways. Unfortunately, he put himself in harm's way. And when you do that, you have to expect the consequences. And he met them. He was beheaded, brutally and ugly that it was. And then you have Rob O'Neill, a 38-year-old man, husband, father, son, willing to put his life on the line for his country, willing to do whatever was required for his fellow man, willing to make you look at him and say to yourself, like I did, that is an American. This is Holly Meredith, getting ready to go to my break.
Hi, welcome to Muscle Beach, located at 501 East Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach. We'd like you to join us for some of the finest, hand-picked, shipped daily Prince Edward Island mussels, along with the freshest seafood Delray has to offer.
Welcome back to the Holly Meredith Show. I hope I left you with some food for thought. I want to get into a little bit more detail about these people, but first of all, I want to talk to you about what's going on in our country regarding immigration. Anyone who's been watching my show for more than a year understands how I feel about immigration. Immigration in this country is not only out of control and is going to alter the landscape of the country permanently if the tyrant in the White House is allowed to carry forward with his act. The tyrant in our White House is now threatening the American people and giving us the ultimate finger. He's giving us the ultimate finger because he can, because he's allowed to, because he gets away with it. He is threatening to make almost 6 million illegals currently in the country legal with an amnesty. Now, you may not have read this bill. I've told you a million times what his stupid bill includes. But if he puts them in an amnesty program, that means that all of their relatives can come. All of them. Not just their mothers or fathers or sons or brothers or aunts or uncles, but nieces and nephews and cousins and third cousins. On and on and on, ad nauseum. So although he's going to try illegally, unconstitutionally in every way to alter the landscape of America in order to make sure that only Democrats get elected in the future, which is the only reason this thing does anything, President Obama does nothing that is not political. He has done nothing that isn't political since he first entered the Senate, when for 2 entire years he never voted anything but present. No votes, just present. That was so that he would have no record that anybody could call up when he went to run for president. Just present. This is important for you to understand. The Constitution clearly states what to do when you have a person in the power of the presidency who chooses to overstep his bounds. This is why we have a republic, not a democracy. We are a 3-tiered government. 3 tiers. He's only one of them. What he's trying to do, and what the Democrats are allowing him to do up until this moment, because if you were living on another planet, the Senate went Republican, which means now President Obama is known as a lame duck president. He can't control the Senate anymore because Harry Reid is no longer in charge. So all of the bills that the House has passed over the last 6 years and never got a vote are now going to start getting voted on. And of course the Democrats say, oh, that doesn't matter. If it gets to his desk, he'll veto it. Well, newsflash for all of you who don't know, that nothing in our entire world ever better than the Constitution was ever written. Those men figured everything out. Because if you have a president like the dick we have now, if you have that person in power, you can override his veto. Yes, you can. So if he vetoes this agreement that we send him for the Keystone Pipeline or for an immigration plan that seals the borders, which by the way, his does not. His has nothing in it whatsoever about sealing the border in any way. Just welcome one, welcome all, and let the American taxpayer pay for all of you, which is what it says. And you'll be saying, press 1 for Spanish. The whole idea I'm trying to make you understand is you have an opportunity which you just took. You overturned the Senate, you put more Republicans in the House. Back to 1928, you have more power than they've had since 1928. You are in such a position to make such a difference. If you permit this person to go forward with his plan, and he believes he can get away with it because he's black, if you permit him to do that, you will not have your country anymore. Now, I'm not the only person that says that. Many, many people smarter than I, with a lot more aptitude in politics than I will ever have explained to you in detail just what this entails. If he does that, he's guilty of an impeachable offense. But more importantly, if he does that, he is guilty of a firing squad treasonous offense. And you have to keep that in mind. For the first time in our history, the first time in our history, we have in our presidency a man who is willing to cause a constitutional crisis to the country that he is supposedly looking after in order to make sure that the people that he wants voting Democrat for the Democratic Party are allowed to overwhelm all the systems of America, which they will do. This is the first time in our history that we have a president who is threatening to do that. He is looking right in the camera at the American people and saying, that's enough. We have had all of you we can stand, and we're going to do whatever it is we have to do to get your ugly ass out of our White House. If you do that, if you stand up and demand that he either be removed from office the minute his pen touches paper, or he be removed from being allowed to be president. Period. That can be done by defunding every single thing he wants to do, because the power of the purse is in the Congress. They have the ability to cut off all of the money for anything. So they can stop him completely. And they need to stop him completely. I don't mean to be a harbinger of doom, but I'm becoming one. It's very important for you to understand where we are and what you must do. I have complete and utter faith in you, and I'm sure you will do what requires to be done. This is Holly Meredith. Join me on my next show.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ray Flo. This is my storage, Lake Worth Storage. We've been here, I guess, about 8 years. It's been great. Love Florida, love the storage business. I was meant for this business. Come with me. Let's go inside. And here's the fantastic staff. Mr. Josh runs it. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
And the quiet one. Look here, Marge. Look this way. Look this way. There you go. All right. So, well, there is a lot to run in the storage. There is no silver bullet to make it successful. We've been very successful. So, you got to have a few things, you know. You got to have, of course, the price has got to be right. You got to have a nice staff, congenial people. We have that. Place has to be clean. We have that. And we have to treat people with dignity and very nicely, and we do that. So we've got, you know, the price, the staff. We've been here a long time. We got a good record. Above all, though, it really should be secure. And we have very little problems with that here. We're very secure. We've got 14 cameras there and some more here. So yeah, we're set for the public. We're set up. Excellent.